morning and thank you, God, for this life. Yeah. Warning. You are entering a live spiritual frequency check. This transmission may override your current social programming. Yeah. You might experience sudden discomfort around people you've outgrown. The realization that your peace keeps getting hijacked by proximity. A deep knowing that your network isn't reflecting your roots. It is distorting it. If these symptoms rise, don't ghost people. Don't argue. Don't justify their access. Audit, align, echo with intention. Welcome to Raw for Epoch 2, Day 101. The network echo. Ooh. You're either a bliss amplifier or a chaos magnet. Audit your circle. What energy are you feeding? What energy are you receiving? You're not being drained by life. You're being echoed by people who never built peace of their own. Oof. This one is going to sting a lot of bit. Let's get into the concept overview so we can level set and understand what we are talking about. The network echo. It's time to lock in. This is about energetic resonance. How your circle reflects, distorts, or amplifies your current state. It's about realizing you don't absorb energy, you match it. It's about understanding that someone else's chaos becomes your chemistry if you're not conscious. It's also about calling yourself out. Are you feeding bliss into your environment, or are you leaking unprocessed chaos? Your nervous system is an antenna, and your network is what is broadcasting. Let's get into our visual metaphor, the spiritual sound system. Immerse yourself. Close your eyes if it makes you feel better. It's Friday. Picture your life like a sound system in a giant hall. You are the mic. Your soul is the speaker. Your circle, they're the walls. Every word you speak, every emotion you carry, it bounces, echoes, repeats. And if the walls are jagged, broken, sharp, the sound comes back warped, distorted, and even violent. But if the walls are tuned, clear, and grounded, then the sound comes back clean, full, and true. Now ask yourself, what room are you in right now? What are you echoing? And more importantly, what are they bouncing back into you? If every conversation leaves you more anxious, if every interaction returns to drama, you're not talking to people anymore. You're performing in an arena of trauma. And it's time to unplug the mic and build your own sound chamber. Let's get into my personal perspective. The network echo. Can you hear the echo of the people around you sucking you dry? Or are you sucking other people dry, including yourself? I always tie back to my grandfather, man. He wasn't book smart. He wasn't going to quote Socrates or pull out a spreadsheet, all right? But he was encoded with the kind of wisdom you don't read. You inherit it. He wasn't just from the street. He was the street. Not around it. Like, he was it. To this day, in his 80s, the man still moves like the concrete owes him something. You understand? Now, one of the things he told me early, real early, real early, and never left me. He said very simply, be careful who you stand next to. Because it don't matter who you are if who you are with gets you caught up in what they carry. Now, that hit different. Way different. But as a kid, I'm talking about young, it didn't fully register. But as I grew and I reflected, I started to watch it play out in real time. Someone else's echo will land on you like you sent it. The street, it don't care about your innocence. It cares about your association. So naturally, I move different. And of course, I am my own vibe. Always have been. I don't need a hype man. I don't need a cheer squad. I'm not looking for clicks. I create culture. I don't conform to it. And I learned too many circles means too many versions of you. And if you keep shape-shifting just to stay connected, you start losing yourself in echoes that don't sound like God. So I got picky. Real picky. Still that way. If you didn't love to work, I couldn't hear you. You gotta love to work. If you feared risk, I couldn't walk with you. If you lacked loyalty, you couldn't sit with me. Now, here's something else that's really important. If your energy was needy, greedy, or confused, I unplugged it before it infected my clarity. Because here's the truth. Back to my grandpa Jefe. What you wear, I gotta carry. And what I carry, you gotta echo. So if I see weakness, any kind of weakness, if I sense envy, if I hear doubt in your frequency, I'm gone. Poof. Like some magic trick. Not out of ego, but out of execution integrity. I do not do energy vampires. I don't build with people who treat success like a lottery ticket. I need people who treat it like a daily contract with God. I walk into rooms to own them. Not to shrink, not to blend, not to dim. And if my vibe makes you uncomfortable, that's a sign I'm tuned in higher than the room. I already know I've never been for everybody, and I never wanted to be. I'm either deeply loved or completely misunderstood and despised. No middle ground. And that's all good with me. Because I learned in this life, your circle is your frequency and your echo becomes your evidence. There's consequences to this. Let's check the chat. 409 on a Friday. Oh, this is important. This is super important. I think really easy to begin to, and we'll get into this for our challenge and the how to. But I think in this space, we redirect our attention to what is outside of us, which is natural. And the reality is this. Some of us have built a network that is just sucking us bone dry. And that's just the reality of life. But I've said this over and over, and I think it's really important. Essentially, your network is you're walking in and out of rooms. And at some point, the room becomes crowded. the walls start to shrink and you outgrow the room. And every time you outgrow the room and stay there, you stunt yourself, you regress. And you can only elevate to the frequency your room allows. So our generationally cursed brethren, people who have grown up like me, a lot of times never leave the block. I've talked about this. It's the same way a lot of us get into corporate, into business, into our 9-to-5 careers, and we never get promoted. It's because you jump into a room, you absorb that frequency, and that is now your network echo. And then it doesn't really leave the same vibe and frequency as you move out relationally. Typically, that becomes your external vibe. It's who you hang with, the things you do. They haven't really evolved. And it's quite natural to start saying the people around you are stripping you, but the reality is you're stripping yourself. How you walk and how you flow is what you attract. And if you can't elevate yourself, the network around you will not elevate. And if you keep allowing yourself to be restricted by the people around you, well, then you're just restricting yourself. Let's get into the consequences. We're talking about our network echo. If you don't check the network echo, you'll confuse proximity with alignment. You'll inherit pain that doesn't belong to you. You'll keep repeating old cycles just to stay connected. You'll shrink your frequency to avoid changing too much. You'll feel guilty every time your peace makes someone else uncomfortable. You'll mistake being in community with being in a chemical trap. And worst of all, you'll silence your own signal just to stay in someone else's broken frequency. We got to go into how to take ownership. Let that hit and sit and marinate. The first thing you want to do to take ownership is to run a frequency scan. Ask yourself this. This hurts, but you got to do it. Or not. Stay where you're at. Who's in your circle that drains your clarity? Who's in your space that echoes your lower self instead of your root? Be honest. Your nervous system knows it before your mind admits it. Do you understand that? The second thing you want to do is mute or move. Not everyone gets removed, but some people need to be moved. Access is not love. Echo is power, and you choose what gets reflected. Why does everyone have access to you? That's always a question I like to ask. Why does everyone get access? Everyone should not get access. Some people just need to be moved. Some people just need to be compartmentalized. Some people just need an hour a week, not an hour a day. Some people got to get sent the voicemail. Some people got to get blocked. Some of you have to create a do not disturb on your phone and block out all the noise. I can't tell you how liberating that is. I'm on do not disturb so much that when I take it off and I start getting notifications, I start freaking out. Access is not love. Everyone doesn't need access to you. Everyone shouldn't have access to you. You got to have access to you first. If you don't create your own vibe, you're absorbing the vibe around you, and you will become that vibe whether you accept that vibe or not, consciously or unconsciously. You can't lie to yourself. And who you surround yourself is the first and immediate direct reflection of who you really are. I'm not saying the people around you are wrong or that they're terrible. I'm just saying, if you're not where you want to be and you haven't moved in quite a while, who are you giving access to? And why do you feel the need to continue to give access to these people? I don't understand it. Why do we have such a difficult time? Why do we get so conflicted with removing and moving things out of our life that don't belong there? And then we're quick to say, I don't have time. How don't you have time? What are you doing all day, every day that is taking your time? How much more time are you giving to other people before yourself? I keep saying that. Nobody gets time before me. Nobody. That's why I wake up when I do. I wake up and I go straight to God. Why? I might have to cut some people off today. And I ain't even got that many left to cut off. I have to give access to certain people. And before I do that, I got to give access to myself. Some of you know what you want and can't get up 1 hour earlier a day, but keep giving an hour to that same person that is complaining about the same things that they haven't done nothing about. And then you wonder why you feel off. Why am I uncomfortable? Why do I feel down? Why do I feel a little bit depressed? Because everything around you is depressing. Some people need to be moved. Some people need to be removed all the way. Let's get into the third step. You want to amplify your bliss signal. Man, I'm tongue-tied today. Ask yourself this. Where can you intentionally broadcast peace today? Even in silence, even in presence. Be the amplifier you wish others were. Your echo is your ministry. Do you understand the power of that? If you amplify yourself and you resonate a certain frequency, others will know to stay away. And then others will know to pull in your direction. I read something in a book recently. It says something like this. If you take one person, one human being, and you lock them up and cage them in alone, you'll create madness, depression, anxiety, stress, overwhelm. That person will die quick. You take 50 people and you put them in that same cage, hopefully big enough, for the 50 people. You know what happens? You create a culture. We can't get away from the fact that we want to be relational, social people. But that doesn't mean that the people that you are around have to create a social circle that brings you down. You create your own cage. You create your own vibe. You are amplifying energy at all times. And that's why I don't care if you call it God or root or source or creator or nothing. You're always being watched. You're always being responded to. Life is one big relational game. If you don't have what you want that you can't see, it's because you don't have what you want inside of what you see. Your echo is your ministry. Ask yourself, what am I echoing? What are people? That's one of the biggest questions I've learned to ask, right? How are people responding to you? That'll tell you a lot about how people see you. And if you can't see how other people see you, it's likely you can't see what you see for yourself. Daily challenge in our ARR audit replace report format. Let's start with our audit. Name 3 people, platforms, or patterns that echo chaos back into your system. Now name the one person or habit that consistently reflects peace. What is the difference? Ooh. Who is echoing chaos back into your system? Do you even have someone who consistently reflects peace? And then what is the difference? Audit it. Then you want to replace. For 24 hours, start the withdrawals symptoms. Silence the loudest chaotic echo in your life. Don't explain, don't announce, just adjust the frequency. Replace it with stillness, presence, or someone who reflects peace. And then we're in April. It's the Do You Rules Raw 4 challenge. Every day we give ourselves the opportunity to be better. So report on this day, April system reset, day 11. I'm 101 days in. Ooh, I cut the echo from blank and amplified peace through blank. Fill in the blanks. Then let that report seal your energy. You don't just survive the system, you echo truth through it. Cut it, move it, replace it, report on it. Listen, you are not tired. You are not broken. You are receiving distorted signals and calling it connection. You are a broadcast tower for God's voice, but if your echo chamber is chaotic, even your anointing will sound like anxiety. Today, you don't go mute, you tune up. You clean the signal, you amplify only what is rooted. Because the war isn't always loud. Sometimes it's just echoing in the background while you pretend it's not shaping your spirit. Oof. Own the system or be erased by the echo of others. You either run the system or the system runs you. Change your mind, change your life. I am who I say I am. Do you and stay rich.